There's a very simple mentality that you need to follow if you ever want to have a successful personal brand. And if you ever want to properly document your beliefs, experiences, and business through personal branding, you need to be following this mindset. No matter what you do, you must be consistent. It is as simple as that. The simplest of mindsets that you can adopt is a neutral to positive ratio mindset. That's what I call it, at least. Which means no matter what happens to you, your work, your business, your personal brand, your content strategy, your ad performance, anything like that, you need to have a neutral or positive outlook on the results, even if they are the worst results you have ever seen in your life. It will give you an unbeatable outlook on life to the point where any sort of work, effort, or event in your life seems good, okay? Because either you have a very negative experience and you can pivot it and reframe it to be neutral or positive. Simple as that. You can look at positive events as neutral or positive. You can look at pretty neutral events as neutral or positive. You do not need to feel bad. By feeling bad, you will allow doubt to creep in. It is as simple as that. So if you ever want to be successful with personal branding, with running a company, starting an agency, scaling an agency, building an e-com brand, scaling your intro offer, anything like that, this mindset in of itself, at face value, if you just take it from this video now, is going to make you in the top 1%. It will put you in the top 1% of personal brands easily, because looking at anything in a neutral or positive light is going to give you the mental capacity to push forward no matter what. You're going to post on YouTube, you're not going to get any results. You're going to post on Instagram, you're not going to get any results. But you look at it in a neutral or positive light, it's very easy to beat your competition when it is A, everything is fun, 2, or B, you know it is part of the game and you have to look at it in that positive way. You know that creating content takes time, building a personal brand with branding assets, good content ideas, follow-up systems, a good offer, follow-up sequences, all of it all takes time. And when you look at it in a positive light, knowing that it takes time and that you're going to have bad days, but if you can reframe them into being good, if you can actually forge your mindset to being rock solid to the point where nothing can negatively phase you, you're going to be unbeatable. Now, this is the mindset I've adopted for my life in general. In the past, probably 5 years of my life, I read meditations that started me on this journey. Learn the basis of Stoicism, where this comes from, this neutral and positive mindset and outlook. Learn Stoicism, right? Stoicism in of itself is looking at things neutrally regardless of that thing. But I have modified it to be neutral or positive, because as humans, you are meant to feel emotions, okay? You're going to be more successful when you are feeling positive or neutral, not just neutral. So by building that basis and by framing my entire identity, my entire life around that way of thinking, I have allowed myself to do things that I didn't think possible. For any 19-year-old especially, I have scaled my clients' companies to doing over nearly $1.3 million in client revenue in the past 6 months, from June to January this year alone. And I started my offer with running meta ads and doing a done for you offer where we run ads and build funnels and do a full stack agency, doing all the work for our clients, but also doing done with you at the same time, teaching business owners over 90 days how to learn how to run ads, what makes a good funnel, the anatomy of an ad, the anatomy of an email follow-up, how to actually convert leads during sales calls, all of that within 90 days. So I have managed in 6 months to launch an agency, a full stack agency, fulfilling services for businesses and teaching businesses how to do that service themselves. Doing $1.3 million in client revenue in 6 months alone. We're on track to definitely hit $2 million in client revenue by the end of the year, guaranteed. I onboarded clients while traveling. And by having this positive mindset, this positive outlook, I was able to break through any bad work day. I could have a normal day, or I could have an amazing day. There were no bad days in my books because I would always find a takeaway from them. When you have non-negotiables in your life, when you have non-negotiables that you must accomplish every single day, you will find it extremely hard to fail, A. B, you will find it extremely hard to have a negative emotion towards your day. Even if you only got 3 things done, you got your non-negotiables done. Bare minimum, you have pushed the needle forward in some direction in your life. If you do nothing all day, but you go to the gym, you've still pushed the needle forward in the health aspect of your life. If you do nothing all day, but you still hop on 5 sales calls and close 4 of them, and you've generated 6K in revenue, then you've pushed the needle forward in your business, in that aspect of your life. If you get 8 to 9 hours of sleep, read a good book, practice a language, practice chess, you're actually just improving your mental health, your mental and physical health, which is another important aspect of your life. So when you have non-negotiables, which tie into having this neutral and positive outlook and mentality on life, you'll become unbeatable. It's genuinely a cheat code to being successful, because in 6 months alone, I will say this again, we've scaled from 0 to 1.2, $1.3 million in client revenue. Going to do 2, maybe even 3 million, because I will it. I will say it and I will do it, because every day I have non-negotiables, things I must do. You must hold yourself to a high standard. And when you fall short of those standards, do not change the standards to feel better about yourself. That being said, again, feel neutral about it. If you have the worst day on earth, you can still choose how you feel about it. So by choosing to feel neutral or positive, you are reframing that bad day into a learning experience or another experience that you can develop from and grow from, right? Everything's a learning experience. And when you have an unbeatable mindset that reframes everything automatically for you, then you will become unbeatable in every field. So when you actually employ this identity, when you build this identity around yourself and you pivot and you know exactly what you must do every single day to reach your goals, you hit your non-negotiables, you reframe every negative experience into a neutral or positive one, you will find it impossible to ever fail in any aspect of your life. If you want to lose 100 kilos, if you're in the gym, or you want to make 100K per month, if you just set non-negotiables for yourself to do every single day, it is simply a matter of time. Because time beats luck, or enough time spent on one thing will attract so much luck to yourself that it is impossible to fail, okay? We are all young. We have decades behind us, all right? I'm 19 years old, I turned 20 this year, okay? It feels like to me that I'm 50 and I'm approaching the end of my life, okay? Yes, it is good to have that urgency. It is good to have that urgency behind myself because I will work harder. But having a neutral or positive outlook on my life, the things I've already accomplished at a young age, social media has warped our ways of thinking around success, accomplishments, life, especially for teenagers, all right? You would grow up thinking that you need to have a Lamborghini by 18 years old. That's not the reality, but you can will it into existence. You can make sure it happens. If you're 18, if you're 25, if you're 30, all right, you can still make it happen. That's the miracle of shifting your identity, shifting your beliefs, and turning into the person you actually want to be. You're not wanting to be someone who drives a Lamborghini or wanting to be someone who loses 100 kilos in the gym. You already are that person. So when you think like you have already achieved that thing, when you think and go about your life as someone who has already achieved their goals, you will find it so much easier to perform at the best of your ability. If you go through life thinking that you are the best, as arrogant as it sounds, you are going to perform better. That is just human psychology. So, by using that way of thinking that you are good and that you can achieve what you want to achieve because you have the identity of the person that achieves that thing, and by reframing any shortcoming into a neutral or positive experience, you will find success in any amount of time. Short term, long term, you can find the good in anything you want because you can reframe any experience into how you want it.